Hello there, you wonderful, beautiful people. It's Stephen here, back with the first transfer target of the January transfer window. Yes, it isn't the January transfer window yet, but all of you have been asking in the comments for videos about transfers, about players that we could be signing. We all love a juicy bit of transfer gossip. So here is the transfer target, back by popular demand. If you want to see more of these videos, let me know in the comments. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe as well, because we all do love discussing the ins and outs, the nitty-gritty rumours that the transfer papers love to devour and feed to us, because it's so fascinating watching all these players linked with our club. So without further ado, let's get into the transfer target. We've got 3 players for you today, 3 players that have come up recently in the press. Not sure how valuable all of them are, but we're going to start with Aaron Martin. Now, what do we know about Aaron Martin? Now, I can't pretend I know absolutely loads. This is the bit where I confess to not being an expert on Aaron Martin's career so far. I also like the fact, by the way, that he's got 2 English first names. He'll fit in right over here, I'm sure, in Manchester. But yeah, I've not seen loads of him, I'm being honest. When I do watch the league, it tends to be in awe of Lionel Messi. And when he's playing on the pitch, you don't tend to see much more else than that. He's a left-back, obviously. He's played a lot for Spain under 21s and had a bit of a breakthrough season so far. This is only his first season so far competitively in senior football. He's a great example of how good a BT system can be for a player, having spent last season for Espanyol B in the Segunda Division B. That's where he broke in their team. That's where he learned his trade, so to speak, and now he's been promoted to the full Espanyol team this season. I've watched bits of him online, and what I can see from him, he's very technical, he's a very neat player, he's very aggressive as well, which I like. He reminds me a little bit in that aspect of Pablo Maffeo, obviously a City Academy player, in terms of he loves to dive into a tackle. He's quite aggressive, which I think in general is a good instinct. He shows a player that is fully committed. Yes, there is the odd risk of a card, but that can be coached out of a player. As we know, with Otamendi, with Guardiola's already taught him to stay on his feet and channel that aggression into the right well. And he seems to be very Spanish on the ball, obviously comfortable, has a decent turn of base, not the fastest, but he seems to bomb forward pretty well. And in general, he's a feisty little player, a player with loads of promise. Now, I can't pretend to be an expert, as I've just said. I haven't watched all his games, but based off the YouTube clips, and that's all I've got to go for at the moment, he seems like a decent little player. He's also Catalan. Now, bear with me with this one. I'm stretching a little bit, but Guardiola obviously is Catalan too. He's been wearing that yellow independence ribbon for God knows how long. I'm sure to someone like Aaron Martin, Guardiola, and for most players in the world, is a man to look up to, especially given his Catalan ties. I'm sure if Guardiola got on the phone to him, he could convince him to come to Manchester City. Whether City are in for him or not, I am not sure. But the fact remains, we only have one recognised left-back, and that is no disrespect to Fabian Delph. Maybe the situation is that Guardiola is now happy with Delph there. Maybe we won't be after Aaron Martin, but the rumours seem quite strong. AS are reporting that he'd be able to leave for around £16 million, which for a club like Manchester City is absolutely nothing whatsoever. And he seems very affordable. And obviously he's young, he has loads of room for improvement, and he'd probably fit into the squad without too many demands initially, which would probably play into Guardiola's hand. I guess it depends now whether he wants to leave mid-season. Most players don't like moving mid-season, but then again, most players don't get a chance to move for Guardiola and a team that's breaking records over in England. We are a special project to be a part of at the moment, so maybe you'll see this as a chance to prove himself and further his career, or maybe you'll just think, I'd rather just stay at Espanyol for the rest of the season, see what happens, and then maybe take the path at the end of the season. All I know is he seems a good little player. Whether he'll get him or not, I don't know. Do we need someone who can play left back? Of course you do. There are rumours as well that he can slot into centre back every now and then, so maybe he'd be a very good squad player. I'm on the fence. I'm not sure it'll happen, but we'll follow this with intent. And we're linked to another highly gifted young player, Frenkie De Jong. Another De Jong at Manchester City, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Who is De Jong? Well, he's a highly gifted, technical playmaker, currently starring for Ajax. He's still only just 20 years old, and there's obviously plenty of links to Manchester City. He came out recently as well in the press and said it'd be an honour to play alongside someone like Kevin De Bruyne. I'm sure it would, Frenkie. A lot of players would love to play alongside a player who's arguably reaching the pinnacle of football under Guardiola's leadership. He's a very Guardiola kind of player. He's very good at the high press. He's very aggressive in terms of commitment to the cause. He's very neat on the ball. He reminds me a little bit, actually, of Phil Foden, the way he plays, in terms of his elegance, his gliding past players, his vision, which also makes me think maybe there is, and maybe there isn't something in this. So now, Pep obviously loves Phil Foden. He rates Phil Foden highly. And if someone like Frenkie De Jong comes in, well, he's in direct competition with Foden immediately. Now, competition is always a good thing, but the idea of having someone like him, a young lad from Manchester, well, Stockport, Manchester, whatever one you say there, Foden, having him closed off immediately by another young player ahead of him, it makes you think whether there's something in this, whether we're just watching him, whether we're actually going to bid or not, though. I don't think this will personally happen, especially not in January anyway. I think De Jong is in a good place over Ajax. I think he's a very gifted player, but I don't think we're going to shut the door already to Foden and Brahim and people like that, especially when we don't really need further attacking midfield upgrades during January. I think of all the places we're pretty gifted at the moment, I think attacking midfield and just number 8s and so on, we're kind of stuck there. I think we've got players like Gundogan can come in, Bernardo Silva can play as a number 8, Foden can play as a number 8, then Brahim could even do a job as a number 10 maybe. I don't think we need another gifted kind of silky attacking midfielder at this stage. I'm sure we watched him, but for me, that's a no-go in January. Now, the last name is Virgil Van Dijk, a player City were linked very heavily to in the summer window. Obviously, a player also put in a transfer request and tried to go to Liverpool and apparently turned down City. But now I'm not sure if he'd do exactly the same again if Guardiola came calling for him. As well, Conte has been saying that clubs should try and repel Manchester City and not sell their best players to him. That, to me, is a sign of fear from a man who knows that City are running away from the league. And if Conte's saying that Southampton and clubs like that should try and resist offers for their best players, which is obviously a bit rich, given the fact that if it was the other way around and he wanted him, he wouldn't be saying that. But if he's saying that, he maybe knows that maybe City are actually in for him. And Guardiola's been quite vocal about saying that City need another centre-back, given the fact that Kompany is a sick note. Unfortunately, Stones obviously has got an injury at the moment. I'm sure he'll be fine though. But that leaves a relatively unfanted Mangala, though he has played well recently, and a relatively untested and raw Tosin Adarabioyo. I think Guardiola would snap the hands off of Southampton if they'd let them have Virgil van Dijk. I think he's the kind of player, even though his form has been iffy since that summer request, he's the kind of player that would fit into Guardiola's system perfectly. He's strong, he's fast, he's absolutely huge, and he can pass the ball. I personally would love Van Dijk at Manchester City, even though he's got a lot of raw kind of edges that need to be refined. I think Guardiola is the exact kind of man that could get the best out of him. Though I don't know where he would be guaranteed to start. Stones and Otamendi have been absolutely magnificent this season. I do know that we should have top quality players in every position. And Kompany, for me, he's kind of on his last legs. I know that's terrible news. My channel is named after him, for crying out loud. But I think it can face the reality that Kompany cannot be relied on. Mangala will obviously go in the summer as well, which leaves us it leaves us with only 2 senior centre-backs potentially if Kompany does move on as well. So we need Van Dijk, and January that could be an absolutely massive boost for us. Now, it depends if Van Dijk actually wants to play for Manchester City. Does he want regular football guaranteed, or does he have the guts to face a battle with Otamendi or Stones? I'm not necessarily sure he does. Maybe I'm wrong there, but the fact that he maybe chose Liverpool last time, I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh there on him. Maybe he just thought Liverpool were a better package and he would enjoy life under Klopp a little bit more. He's entitled to that opinion, but there was something about the way that he chose that club for me to suggest maybe it wasn't for him. But maybe I'm being a little bit presumptuous there. I think City aren't for him. I think Guardiola wants a centre-back. Whether it'll happen or not in January, I don't know, given the fact that Southampton would put an extortionate fee on him, given the fact that they'd be struggling to replace him in January. January transfers are very hard to pull through for the fact that people put a January kind of like tax on the sale, and City aren't always willing to kind of stump up, and most clubs aren't willing to stump an extra 10-15 million on a player they could get in the summer for considerably less. Obviously, it's one to keep an eye on. I'm sure we'll know a lot more closer to January. But guys, that's the end of this transfer video. There'll be more videos, and I have an update on people like Sanchez and so on, and maybe Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, if that's how it's pronounced right, people like him in the coming days. Let me know in the comments who you want to see discussed on the transfer targets in the future. Let me know if you want to see more of these, and I will catch you tomorrow after the Leicester game for a match reaction. See you later, guys.